Friday Live. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to start off today with a slightly different agenda. I want to jump straight into the content that I want to talk about. Then I'll share with you some updates and some insights and things that I think are relevant to this particular time of the year. So I want to start off by talking with you about the BOLO deals and some of the observations that I've been making, and also some suggestions on how you can take this to the next level. The first thing that I want to mention to you is that with this AI that we have infused into the BOLO deals, the opportunities that the BOLO deals are finding are getting better and better and better. It really is quite extraordinary what we're seeing in terms of these opportunities. Now, at the highest level, just a quick reminder for everyone, including our newest students, and welcome to all of our newest members of our Internet Mastery community. The BOLO deals really were set up to be opportunities for you. And that's why we've got that disclaimer down at the bottom of the page. We know that some of the deals are going to be perfect and low-hanging fruit, and others are going to need to be reverse engineered, while some of the items might be gated or opportunities that you won't be able to take advantage of for a variety of reasons. And that's one of the main reasons that I created the BOLO Search series in the first place, for you to learn that process. But with that being said, I think that there are so many unique opportunities that the BOLO deals provide. And I wanted to walk through some of that with you here. I want to share with you one of our newest and most important updates to Spy Rivals. I'm going to integrate that into my conversation today because I think that so many people are not aware that this is available. And those of you that do have it as available don't necessarily know the right ways to use it. Hang on for me. I want to make a note here to make sure that I cover one other topic. So let me go ahead and jump into the BOLO deals, and let's see what we can find. So right here at the top of the page, on the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the time when the BOLO deals expire, and they refresh with new deals. As we get closer and closer to the holidays, and we get closer and closer to the opportunities that present itself with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, just remember that all retailers are starting to put items on sale, clearance, and closeout. So while there is an amazing opportunity to be selling things, there is an even greater opportunity to be buying things that you can resell from the retail arbitrage side. So I'm going to take a look here at the BOLO deals, and let's see what we can find. I'm actually going to skip over. Actually, let's take a look at the first one. Let's see what we've got here. So this is a guitar pick, and the source is Target. And of course, on Amazon, that is the direct link to Amazon. And if you've been in the BOLO deals, some of this is going to be repetitive, but we'll see if I can share something unique with you here. You can see that this has an estimate of 8 monthly buys. So Spy Rivals takes the historical data, combines it with the current selling opportunities, and then future predicts what the best number of opportunities you should purchase is that you can sell in the next 30 to 45 days. Well, here we are getting ready for the Amazon Q4 10x of our business time of the year. And people have been sending inventory into Amazon already for months to prepare for what is going to be happening. If you've never been through this period before, there's really no way to explain it other than the more inventory you have, the more you're going to sell, the more you integrate it with the repricer, the more money you're going to make. So when we understand the numbers and we understand the dynamics, one suggestion for you is to purchase slightly more inventory than is available per Spy Rivals that you can sell. Now, one of the things I really want to make sure you are doing is you're watching the videos that I'm posting in the Facebook group, not necessarily the Facebook Live, but the videos. For example, the most recent video I posted, which is pinned to the top of this page in the first spot, of course it'll be the second spot after we pin this video, is a 90-second video that I created. in which I talk about the deadlines that you must be aware of to get your inventory to Amazon to be guaranteed those items sold during the Christmas time. It's very important. It's only a 90-second video. If you haven't watched it yet, you should watch it. I'm not going to repeat today what I covered in that video because otherwise there'd be no purpose of watching it. I want you to watch it. It's got some deadlines and it's got some time frames in there. So we know that if Spy Rival says it can sell X, you might want to add 10 or 15 or 20%, even 30% extra in your inventory purchase now. Because if you wait until you sell out, it'll be too late to restock that inventory for the holidays. The biggest concern you're going to have, and you're going to be able to look back and remember I told you this, is not coming up with what to sell. It's coming up with what to do when everything you have has already sold out and it's too late to add more. So by understanding that process, this specific time of the year, if this was February or March, I wouldn't tell you to do that. I'd tell you to stick with the Spy Rivals numbers. But I would inflate those numbers by 20 or 30% where we are in the timing. So what we have is we can see here it says that we should buy 8 of them. And we can see that there are 2 competitive FBA sellers and that the selling price is $10.78. That is the current price of this item. But the real question is, and it is answered in the form of another question, which is continuously being brought up in this group, where people say things like, I bought my inventory, I sent it in, it's en route to Amazon, and now the price has tanked. What do I do? And this happens a lot in terms of the comments and the questions. Remember that it's the responsibility of you in your business to purchase your inventory properly. So just a few weeks ago at InternetMastery.live in Las Vegas, we introduced an all-new feature to Spy Rivals, and it was a very, very let me say this. It was not a very dramatic release. It was not a very well-promoted release. It's something that I talked about for a few minutes, but I want to share it with you here because I think that it might change your perspective in terms of your buying behaviors. So let's take a look at the Spy Rivals lookup button. Of course, these are the BOLO deals. We're going to look at the Spy Rivals lookup button. This is not Spy Rivals X. This is the main Spy Rivals 2.0. I'll click on it. And what you're going to see here at the very top is that 3.27 are being sold every single day. There are 7.5 monthly buys, so you could buy 8 of them, sell it in the next 30 days. Maybe you up that to 10 or 12. But what I want you to look at, most importantly, is that the current selling price of this item is $10.78. However, Spy Rivals now has this incredible resource of letting you know what the average selling price of the item is. And you can see here that the average selling price of this item for the last 30 days is $12.49. And the average selling price of this item for the last 12 months is $12.52. Now, the current price is $10.78. So even though you've got, when you're looking at the profitability here, you've got a profit of 30%. This is a product that you should be able to sell for more than the current selling price based on the last 30 days and the last 12 months of average price. So this is one that is the opposite of what you would expect. This is a product that you can sell for more than what it is currently priced at by the lowest seller on Amazon right now. This is a really important number for you to know, because if you can make 30% profit at this point, you can actually make a much higher profit at the higher and more average price points for that specific item. By the way, one thing you want to understand about the averages, and that is that in some categories, for example, video games, you can't use the historical averages yet as a barometer on what you can price your item at. And the reason is that there are certain categories on Amazon where items can be sold used. and video games is one of those categories. So this calculation takes into account all of the items that have sold in the last 30 days on Amazon and all that have sold in the last year. And so the reason I'm letting you know that is that if you see a video game that you can buy for 25 and is selling for 40 with the new FBA seller, but the average historical price is 16, that doesn't mean you can expect it to go down. It means that all of the used ones are factored in. Now, in the next few months, we'll have another update, and it will factor out anything other than the newest items. In fact, you'll be able to sort and select by condition as well when you're looking at that particular data. So I want you to use this information I'm sharing with you, but just know that that caveat is that in a category where used items are sold, it's possible that there are used items factored into the calculation, as I mentioned, with video games as an example. But this first one that we looked at, that data tells us that our opportunity to sell the item for more is actually very real. So when we're using our repricer, obviously we're going to put our minimum pricing in, but our maximum pricing will also be impacted in a very positive way. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next one down. So the next one that you can see is this Dash No Drip Waffle Maker. And according to the numbers, you can sell 54 of them a month. I mean, that's a huge number. And this one comes from Macy's. So I want to do the same thing. I want to look it up in Spy Rivals, and I want to see what it tells us. The current selling price is $63.55. But the average selling price for the last year is $39.94. So the current price is $63.55. The price for the last month is $63.55. But the price over the last year is $39.94. So if our buy price in this particular case is $34.99, even though this one says I could sell 60 in a month, maybe, or 54 in a month, maybe I just do a small test of 5 or 6 units to determine what my selling price is going to be. But in this specific example, you can see that there's a lot more variation in the price between the last 12 months and the last 30 days. Now, we don't know why the price in the past is so much lower, but the last 30 days should give you a consistency for what the next 30 days will yield. So I'm not sure that I would buy as many as it says in this particular case because of the variable associated with the prices. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one. So this one that we're looking at here, this is the Hot Wheels die-cast Mario, whatever it is, toy. And we can see that we could buy 9 of these to sell in the next 30 to 45 days. Now, again, what do we have going on? Christmas is coming. So if it's in the toy category, what are the categories that are the best selling during the holidays? Toys and electronics, hands down, they're the best. And so this is in the toy category. So if we can sell 9 in the next 30 days, but we know that we've got Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and Christmas coming, then maybe we purchase double of those. See, this is why it's really important for you to understand the numbers. It's important for you to understand the metrics, but it's also important for you to understand that this is your business. And yes, we want to use the guidelines that the system provides during most of the time of the year, 8 or 9 months out of the year. But for this few months of the year where everything goes crazy, that's where we want to think outside the box just a little bit. So let's take a look at this one. This one is currently selling for $11.90. We could buy it for $5. It's 11% profit, but still 11% profit in the next 30 days is fantastic. We can see that we can buy 9 of them. We'll let the numbers load. And what we can see is that the last 30 days, the average price is $7.10. But the average price over the year is $11.06. So the thing about this one that's interesting is that the average price is lower now over the last 30 days than it's been for the last year. So if we take a look at the current selling price, the current selling price is in line with what is happening over the last 12 months. Now, one of the things I want you to be conscious of is that during this holiday season, any holiday season, you're going to get people who are going to lower their price. They want to sell their inventory out, and it sells out really, really, really fast. Understand that when you're talking about toys and you're talking about electronics, the closer you get to the holidays, the higher the price that that item sells for on Amazon. It's opposite what you would think. The closer you get to the holidays, the more the people who waited until just the last minute, who are looking for Amazon Prime to be able to get their holiday gifts delivered. Look, let's just talk about Christmas for a minute. Okay, last I checked, Christmas, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I'm pretty confident I know that Christmas comes on December 25th. In fact, I'm confident that it comes on December 25th every year. I'm also confident that it comes on December 25th in Canada and the US and Mexico and all around the world. Now, why would I say that? Because even though we know that Christmas comes on December 25th, even though families that celebrate Christmas need their gifts on the 24th or the 25th, depending on when they're going to open their presents, I guarantee you that there are millions of orders being placed on the 23rd because people procrastinate. They wait until the last minute. Now, what happens when you're going on vacation and you need to buy a flight, an airline ticket, a hotel room? What happens when you wait until the last minute? The prices are sky high. The same thing that happens on Amazon. The prices continue to go up the closer you get to the holidays. So the first factor is that if your Amazon items are not at Amazon and you're trying to do an FBA method, you're never going to get any sales because no one's going to buy from you to get the items the same day or the next day. Number one. Number two, when you have the repricer in place and you're utilizing it effectively, your price will go up and your price will go down. And then as the people that are lower than you in price start to sell out, because there will be some people that price their items lower than your minimums in the repricer. There's nothing wrong with that. As they sell out, your price will go up, then it will go up, and then it will go up. So the people using the repricer effectively during the holiday season will not only sell more, but their average selling price of their item will be higher than if they were manually changing the pricing themselves. That is 100% factual. So understanding the strategy that the closer you get to the holidays, the higher the price, maybe based on the last 30 days of this item, this is one that you want to integrate. Let's take a look at another one. So I was looking at this one a little bit earlier, and I thought it was very interesting because I think that there's a lot of students that are relatively new that don't understand what I'm about to show you. So in this particular case, we can see that the buy price at Walmart is $12.99. We can see that there's only one competitive FBA seller. It's selling for $27.99, and it's got a 47% ROI. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. And when I do, what do I see? I see that the current selling price is $27.99. The average of the last 30 days is $27.99. The average over the last year is $27.90. So clearly, this $28-ish price point is consistent. But there's more to it than that. So in this particular example, and I'm going to answer the question after that I think comes up with people after I show this to you. But this is why understanding what we're doing is so very important. I'm going to click over to Amazon. And what we're going to see here is that the store where this is sold is the Et Dane store. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. It could be Et Dane, I'm not sure. But there's only one seller, and that seller is the same seller as the brand. So, in other words, if you were to list this item, let's say that there's no brand restriction and they don't have this listing blocked. So, let's say you can sell it, you're not gated. The problem is that in this particular case, you're going to have issues with Amazon and this seller. Why? Because it's their listing, it's their brand, and it's their product. And so you can't, or definitely should not, sell it unless you had permission from that brand. And clearly, it looks as if the brand is not wanting to have other people selling it. So that brings up the question, why would it be in a BOLO deal if you shouldn't be selling it in the first place? Well, the BOLO technology doesn't have any way of knowing whether the brand is the seller on the listing. That's your responsibility. What the BOLO deals do is they bring you opportunities. It doesn't mean every opportunity is going to be perfect. It just means it brings you opportunities. And so one of the things that we could do within our BOLO deals is we could head over to Walmart and we could take a look, and I don't want to get too far into this, but we could take a look at the other items that are related, that are similar, and reverse engineer this process. And again, you watch the BOLO videos and you learn this. But there are so many opportunities that are on sale, that have reduced prices, that are on clearance, that are on closeout, that may or may not be eligible for you to sell, but could be huge opportunities. The other thing to take a look at is when we look at this listing, you can see that it says these items are frequently bought together, right? So this item is bundled with these dog socks. Well, maybe the dog socks are something that you can find and that you can sell. So the purpose of the BOLO deals in totality is to help you find deals, not necessarily the deal that we're looking at. Now, of the 15 deals you get every week, remember everybody's supposed to get 10, but you get 15. So those 5 extra, maybe those are the ones that aren't very good, but they're not bad if you know how to re-engage. I think it's important to understand the perspective that if you see a deal and that deal isn't profitable or the deal is gated or the deal is not something that you're able to sell, that doesn't mean it's a bad deal. It just means that how can we relate or link that deal to another associated deal? Let me take a look at one more and see if there's anything else that pops out. So let's take a look at this one. This is the Thomas and Friends wooden railway. It has a 1% ROI, which is not very much, obviously. You can sell 36 of them a month. The buy price is $21.99 and the selling price is $31.76. Well, let's take a look and see what the average selling price is on this one. Are we in or are we out? Well, what you can see here is that the average selling price is pretty consistent again. But the challenge with this one is that the profitability is not as strong as it could be. So then we say, why would we have a BOLO deal if the profitability is not as strong as it could be? So there's a few things you need to factor in there. Number one, when we find the deal at the beginning of the week, it's very possible that the retailer, in this case Target, had it on sale. Understand that retailers can change their buy price anytime. That's what retailers do. So if the item is on sale and then we have a product that has a 12 or 15% ROI, and then we take that product and a week later or 5 days later, the deal is still active, but the retailer doesn't have it on sale, that profitability is going to change. In this particular case, it's all based on the retailer because the Amazon price hasn't changed at all. Now, continuing on that logic, Preston has done some amazing sessions. You can search the Facebook group on discount stacking and using coupons to get deals. So the fact of the matter is that you might only make a 1% profit on the surface. But if you use a credit card that gives you 2% cash back and you do some discount stacking, you might be able to get that specific item up to 8 or 9 or 10% profit. And based on how it's selling, that turns into a great deal. Remember that the difference between the people who are selling a lot and the people who say that the deal is bad is simply understanding the deal. That's the only difference. And for all of our newest students, I want to remind you that when you go to college or university, you know a lot more when you graduate 4 years later, at least we hope we do, than we did when we started the first semester in our freshman year. The longer that we're in this process, the more we're going to understand it. You can't learn a foreign language in 2 weeks. You can't, in fact, be good at anything in 6 weeks. So if you're brand new and you just started, congratulations, this is an awesome time to start. But if it seems complex or you're not sure, everybody starts this way. Everybody, all the people on our leaderboard that are at 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, 7 million, and more, all started at zero. The difference between them and you is they didn't have the Bolo deals. This technology wasn't around back then. They had to do this the hard way. And so it might not feel like the easy way sometimes, but it certainly is a very powerful way. Let's take a look at another one and see if we see anything a little bit different here. So let's take a look at this one. Now, this is a video game. So this might be the one that shows us the information that I was just talking about. In this case, we can see that the current selling price is $43.87. But if we know that some of these listings are going to be sold as used, it takes our average price down. Now, let's take a look at Amazon for just a moment and see what we have going on. Again, these are all little factors, right? So I'm going to take a look at Amazon, and what I'm going to see here is, see, the first one is used, and then new, and then used, and then new, and then new. There are not very many sellers. In fact, what I would do is I would filter out all of the used ones, and I'm going to simply click on new, and we can see that there is somebody selling it new for 39. Then we have a new for 46 and a new for 58. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that none of these three sellers are FBA. FBA means we're going to send the items through the prep center, we're going to get them to Amazon, and we're going to sell the items for more. So this is an item that easily we could list for $49.99 and sell certainly to the last minute people. And so if we were to sell it for $49.99, our profit would be significantly higher than 27%. So we understand what the average price is because the used ones are there, but then we also understand what our opportunity is. We can come up here to Spy Rivals, we can look at listing on Amazon, we can see that it's not gated. We can even look at the historical data here. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but what you can see is that this game is less popular over time, was more popular a few months ago. You can also see that the price varies, but not that much, and you can see some other relevant information in here. I'm not going to spend too much time on that data. So this is a great one for a new person. There's no sellers that are FBA. The system says, Spy Rival says we can sell 3 of them. I might buy 10 of them. I mean, this is one that there'd be no competition unless you all, of course, go out and buy this one. Maybe you all will. I don't know. And then you'll just compete against each other. So what I'm really wanting to talk about in this session is the understanding that you have access to tools and technology. This one little data piece that shows you the last 30 days and the last year average selling price. This doesn't exist anywhere on the planet. This is exclusive and specific to Spy Rivals, to the Internet Mastery community, and to all of you. It gives you a strategic advantage. You combine that, understand what you have. You have like this magical power in your hands. You have the Spy Rivals with all of the data and all the AI built in, so you know how many to buy. You have the Bolo deals that are pointing you in the direction of where to buy them and what the opportunities are. And then you throw that in with the prep center, and you add to it the repricer. And there's a combination here that is so powerful. You just have to, I don't think most of the people in our community, some do. I know that some do, believe me. But I still think that even some of the most skilled and experienced people in our community, are still untapped when it comes to the raw potential. So that's the insight. Every week I'm going to start adding in. Last week I talked about Walmart. And by the way, just a quick cheap plug. If you have not watched last week's Friday Live, where I spent a half hour on a detailed, in-depth process on how to buy from Walmart, you missed it. You need to watch that. Of course, you're watching this one and then the Walmart one from last week. And finally, if you did not watch the 90-second video that I posted the other day, it's pinned to the top, I talk with you about the deadlines. There are very specific, some of you are going to be shocked when you hear the deadlines. We're almost out of time to guarantee product to be delivered by Christmas. It's coming really fast. Now, let me talk about some other quick updates, okay? Update number one, and that is the Prep Center. So I want to talk about something a little bit different today. Number one, I don't want to really get into the people that are sending items in without plans. You know who you are. You're not. It's not the people watching these videos, so we don't need to talk about that this week. But I want to talk with you about a new feature we just added to the Prep Center because we're getting a lot of emails at the Prep Center about it, and we're getting a lot of emails at support about it because we launched it this week without really talking about it. First thing I want to remind you of, the Prep Center does not provide customer support. The Prep Center is not your coach. I went in today to the Prep Center and I read some of the emails. Where are my products? What's an update on my shipping? Why am I being charged this? What is this? What is that? Okay. Don't send you can, let me rephrase. You can send, you're an adult, you're a human, you're running a business. You can send any email you want to the Prep Center, but they're not going to respond. There is no customer service provided at the Prep Center. They're not your support team and they're not your coaching team. They have a specific role, and that is simply to ship your products. So if you're sending emails to support saying, hey, my item arrived 4 days ago, why hasn't it left yet? And you don't get a response, I'm letting you know in advance, you're not going to get a response to those emails. That's not what the Prep Center does, okay? Now, with that being said, we added in a really cool new feature. It's called rejection. Okay, so a lot of people are sending in emails and concerned about their plans being rejected. So let me tell you what it means. We did this for you, by the way, and if you understand why we did it, you'll appreciate being rejected. Some people are, I can't, what do I do now? I've been rejected. I don't know what to do. Let me tell you, okay? Plans are rejected on the following reasons. And if you click on the rejected, it'll tell you what their tab, it'll tell you what the reason is. Also, you'll get a notification in the upper right-hand corner. Plans will be rejected. So plans will be rejected for the following reasons. Number one, because your item is gated. So when it arrives at the Prep Center can't create the plan because it is gated. If an item is gated, you'll get an email from the Prep Center saying that your item is gated, and that'll give you the weight and the dimensions, and you can either try to relist it again, and if that doesn't work, you can email in a label to have it sent back to you. Okay, so that's number one, is gated. Number two is hazmat or meltable. Now, those are few and far between. We're just about done with the meltable season, so that's a good sign, but that could be a potential reason for a rejection. And the most common reason for rejection is that you submitted a plan, and it's been more than 30 days, and your items have not arrived at the Prep Center yet. So your plan gets rejected. Now, that's the terms of use of the Prep Center. When you send an item, when you create a plan, rather, and you send that item in, remember, you buy the item after you've submitted the plan, okay? So you submit the plan. And by the way, speaking of plans, for anyone that was getting the error with the dimensions and you had to fill in the size and the weight of your item, a red, pink sort of error message, that's gone away. Our team is brilliant, and they figured a workaround through Amazon's system. And secondly, if you're not getting the double check marks as fast as you think you should, that is also delayed by Amazon. You can still submit the items to the Prep Center. In many cases, you can try it even if you don't have the double check marks. It just means Amazon hasn't communicated to us. It doesn't mean your item's not listed. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic. The first reason for rejected is your item's gated. Other reasons include hazmat or meltable. But the main reason items are being rejected is because they've not arrived at the prep center within 30 days of you submitting the form. Now, let me tell you why this is important and why it is really, really good for you. Number one, retailers, Walmart, Best Buy, Costco, all of them, Target, when you buy something from them, they ship the item in a day or two. There's no shipping in 30 days from Best Buy. Like, if it hasn't arrived at the prep center in 3 weeks, it's not coming. Understand that, okay? That means you need to follow up with the retailer. So at 30 days, you're going to get a rejection notice. And that means your plan has been rejected. Now, if you have unlimited credits, it doesn't matter. If you paid for credits, you get the credits back. They go right back into your account. So you haven't lost anything by them being rejected. So let me give you an example. Let's say you have an order from Best Buy, okay? And you buy some speakers, okay? Some little portable speakers. And you send them to the prep center. You fill out the form. Everything is copacetic. It's all working perfectly. And then 30 days later, that plan is rejected. Well, that means that if you placed an order with Best Buy, 30 days later, we still don't have it at the prep center. Well, that's not good. It should have arrived within that 30 days. So rather than you wondering what happens to it, it gets rejected. Instead of, by the way, before we had the rejected in place, it would just simply be deleted at 30 days. Then it shows up at day 35. I'll give you an example of how that can happen in a minute. It shows up at day 35, and then you get billed for not having a plan. And you say, well, I had a plan, but there's no plan. Why is there no plan? Because the terms of use of the prep center say you're going to have your plans removed if the items don't show up within 30 days. So let's just say for a moment your plan is rejected at day 30. You know you've paid for it. You know you should have gotten it at the prep, or the prep center should have received it, I should say. So what are you going to do? You're going to follow up with the retailer and find out where it is. This is good for you to know. Hey, my item didn't arrive. The plan's been rejected. So now what happens is that item, you contact Best Buy, let's say, and you say, hey, where's my item? And they say, oh, it was back ordered, or oh, it was shipped to the wrong address and got returned. For whatever the reason, they never notified you. So now what you can do is get a better update on when that order is ever going to arrive, if it is. And guess what? Now you submit a new plan. See, if we just simply deleted the plans as we've done in the past, and you found out it had never arrived, you call up, you get it reshipped, it shows up, and now there's no plan. So the whole purpose of the concept of the rejected plans is not that you've done something wrong. It's not bad. It's not a strike against you. It's a way to help you manage your inventory as to what's coming in, what hasn't been received, so that you can follow up. Because look, if you paid for something from Walmart and the prep center hasn't received it in 30 days, you might want to make a phone call and say, hey, where's my stuff? They say, well, it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered. And understand that sometimes that happens with retailers. So I just wanted you to understand the concept of the rejected plans. They're good, not bad. They're here to help you. And the more that you understand them, I think, the more you'll appreciate that part of it. One of the things that I did find out was a small little bug. There's an issue with the e-library on the Bolo deals. Thank you, Coach Morello, for bringing this to my attention. And that is that for some reason on the Bolo deals, and it may be fixed by the time we're done with our session today, but if not, it'll be fixed very, very soon. By the time you get to Bolo deal video number 11, for some reason, it's not loading properly. So we're working on the e-library. We'll get those videos all sorted for you. The other thing we're going to be adding in is all new thumbnails and a whole new segment of the e-library for all of the most current, relevant videos, like, for example, this one. All the Facebook Lives that I do, all of that is going to be pinned in the e-library so that you don't have to scroll through. I'll be completely candid with you. I hate the way this Facebook group, not the people in it, I hate the way Facebook and the way Facebook groups operate. I don't think it's conducive to being optimal for you to find the information that you need. I think one of the reasons that people don't watch the videos is because every time somebody makes a comment on someone else's post, it pushes the posts down. and then you don't see it and you don't realize that it's pinned to the top. So we're going to be putting into the e-library right at the top of the page the most, in order of when they were released, the most recent and important videos. So every time you go to the e-library, you'll know these are the videos to watch for this week, and those are the ones that you want to make sure that you get the latest info on, because where we are right now, the timing of everything is so important. And there's so much support. The coaches are doing a great job. Marche's doing a great job. Everybody's doing a great job. But you have to make sure that you're able to get the information, and the more we can get it organized for you, the better off that is going to be. So that's what I wanted to cover today. I'm happy to stick around and talk about and do some questions. Let me jump in here and see where we are at. So one of the first, again, let me congratulate and welcome all of our newest Internet Mastery Elite members. We're very excited that you're here. We're happy to have you. And for all of our Internet Mastery community, just a reminder, we're going to have a slight challenge. In the next few weeks, I'll be able to let you know where the event is going to be in Miami. But it's a very busy time in Miami. Miami is growing so fast. So the hotels don't have as much. I actually thought it would be much easier to get a bigger space, but I think we're going to be very limited. We already have 150 people registered for InternetMastery.live from Las Vegas, now coming to Miami in February. And so if you don't have a ticket, you might, and you're planning on coming to Miami, waiting is only going to A, increase the price, or B, have an event that's sold out. So just a little FYI on what's coming up in Miami. So this is an opportunity for you. I'm happy to stick around if there's questions. If there's no questions, that's okay too. I can just hang out with you for a few minutes. We have a lot of people who are on today. Once this session is done, obviously we'll put the recording up and we'll make that replay available for you. So that's the way that we're really looking forward to. Next time we're going to be together with some of you. We'll be in Cancun for our Inner Circle Premium Live experience. And that's going to premium live event. That's going to be awesome. And mostly AI stuff, some crypto stuff. It's nice to see that crypto is on the rise for all of our Inner Circle members. So that is a very, very cool thing for you. And then after that, the next time we will all get together will be in Miami. So that's going to be really, really cool. So it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of questions today, which is no problem with me. But let's see. There is no venue for Miami yet. No, I just said that I will have that venue in the next few weeks. So we're just finalizing a few things, negotiating on a price for the sleeping rooms and all of that. So as soon as that is done and taken care of, then we will let you all know so you can book your hotel rooms. The event, though, is the 3rd, 4th, and 5th of February, so you can book your flights, maybe come in on the 2nd, depending on where you're coming from. There will be an Inner Circle experience event on Saturday night, so plan on that if you're an Inner Circle member, but that's going to be a lot of fun. The San Diego event that we did in January of this year was awesome. It was a huge catalyst to bring people along in their process, and as I predicted and projected all the way back then, we're starting to see the leaders in the community who were part of San Diego, who were part of Las Vegas, just being tied in to the community makes a huge difference in your overall results. I don't know what new wholesale tool is being asked about. I'm really good at answering questions when I get really specific questions, but I'm not good at reading minds or interpreting questions. So if you have a question, spell it out, ask the question. I'm happy to answer it. One of the things that I want to point out about the repricer is the price of the repricer is going up to $99 a month. It's currently $69 a month. There's a 7-day free trial. It's going up to $99 a month. One of the things that we're finding, and I'm not sure anybody truly understands how much work goes into the repricer, but when you have hundreds and hundreds of items at Amazon and thousands of price movements on a daily basis, every time the repricer reprices your items or even checks to see if your items need to be repriced, Amazon bills us. That's how it works. The data is not free from Amazon. So every movement, every aspect of it, I mean, it's micro pennies, but it adds up when you have 5,000, 10,000, 15,000 movements in your account. So if you have the repricer, just make sure your subscription stays active. Because if your subscription declines, and we have this every now and again, the subscription declines, and then you want to reactivate it, it reactivates at the higher price. So as long as your subscription remains active, then you're going to be in good shape there. All right, folks, so it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of questions here today, but I appreciate you joining me. I'm excited for where we are. Make sure you watch that 90-second video because the timing of your items in terms of arriving at the prep center and then arriving to Amazon are all contained in that video. And I don't want anyone telling me that they missed it and didn't understand there was a deadline and their items got to the prep center too late and now they're mad that their items aren't going to arrive to Amazon. You've got notice, just watch it. It's short, it's quick, it's simple, and it's good.